So welcome back to the YouTube channel, where today I'm going to run you through how much it costs to own a modified Focus RS. So if you didn't know already, I own a Mark III Focus RS in nitrous blue, which I bought factory about a year and a half ago. So I bought this car, which was garaged for 2 years, and it only had one previous owner. So I purchased it with 11,700-ish miles, I believe, where it had sat in a garage on a trickle charger, and then I've come along and I've modified it to my personal taste. So to start the whole video off and explain and be completely transparent, I'm gonna give you every breakdown cost of what I have spent on this car in just over a year and a half, 2 years time frame. And that includes my purchase price of... So this RS was standard, one previous owner, and I bought it in the height of the market. Within the first 2 weeks of purchasing this car, I threw a Scorpion exhaust system on it, which sounds a little like this. Go ahead. So initially that is now running with a sports cat. So it's a little louder than what it'd sound from factory, but as you can see, the exhaust system is extremely loud, and it probably isn't so friendly for your neighbors on an early start. And that exhaust system was roughly £750, and to fit it, well, it depends where you take it. I had my friend fit it, so it was relatively cheap. I didn't have to pay much labor, but if you take it to a garage, you're probably looking maybe 2 to 3 hours labor. So whatever their rate is, that is what it's gonna charge you to fit. Once I installed the exhaust, I then thought I'd add a little bit more sound, and that's where we head under the bonnet, to which I installed a AirTech Stage 2 induction kit. And that is right there that you can see. So it goes down to the turbo and sits nicely, which looks pretty standard. I went with a gloss black connection hoses, and I think it looks pretty sleek. And for noise reference, this sounds a little something like this. So a little something like Darth Vader, and because it doesn't have that enclosed box that the standard RS has, it's a lot louder. And as you can see, just here, I've also removed the sound deadening, and this helps with cabin noise. So that induction kit was roughly £350. You can buy it direct from AirTech, or you can buy it from many other places. It's quite wholesale available. So as you would have seen, that just in the bottom corner, that there is a counter for how much it has cost me so far. And the initial price of the car isn't on there yet, because you're gonna have to wait until the end of the video to see how much I overpaid on my RS. But as you can see, the total value is here. I haven't added it up in my head yet. I'll be doing that whilst editing, but that's gonna keep going up as and when I tell you the mods that I've done to my RS. So now you've got an exhaust system, and you've got a bit more cooling slash ability to take air into the turbo. You're gonna also then want an intercooler. So I have the Revo intercooler with my KD stencil on it. I picked this up from Ford Fair for £200, and it also accompanies with the Revo intercooler big boost pipes, which were also £200. So add another £400 to the total. So now we also just need a sports cat. A sports cat for the RS is subjective to what you have exhaust wise. So as I said, I'm running a Scorpion, and a Scorpion sports cat on this car is about £450. If you go Miltech, you're probably looking at £1,000. If you go Mountune, you're looking similar, because they're basically the same product. But as I say, about £450 to £500 added to the counter, because that's how much a sports cat is. We're not gonna add labor, because that's subjective once again. Like I say, wherever you take it, it varies, and any other garage can charge you more or less dependent on their hourly rate. So you can probably see where I'm heading with this video. So far I've done the performance mods, and we've got to the point where we've had an exhaust, we've had an intercooler, we've got a downpipe and an induction kit with some boost pipes. Now it just takes software. Software wise, we are running TRS Stage 2. So the guys down at AJ Motorsport mapped this for me. The car's running circa 400 horsepower dependent on temperatures, and something like that, you're looking around £350 to £500 for a tune. It will be changing to Sabre once it's big turbo and forged by FJRS. So there's one more performance mod, maybe more aesthetic, that I forgot to mention, and that's the Ram Air intake, which is sitting just here. You can buy these off AliExpress for 20 quid, but I got lucky and found a second hand, but brand new Ram Air original intake. So these are about £150. And then to fit it, all you need to do is remove the front bumper. You need to cut away some of this plastic just here, and then it sits nice and flush with the front of your bumper, just like this. That's meant to help intake. However, I don't have a closed air system, a box like the original standard RS has, to actually create the pressure. So this probably is doing nothing for me, and therefore more of an aesthetic mod for me. So we've done the performance, and that's what majority of you guys care about. But now it's onto aesthetics. How much have I spent making this car how it looks today? And you're gonna be shocked at how expensive it actually is. I suppose there's sports cars in this day and age, but for how much I've spent on this car aesthetically, you're probably thinking I could be big turboed already. But that is happening, so no need to worry. We're doing everything to my RS. So in order of the way I actually modified this car, we're gonna go with the TRC splitter kit first. So I bought the full kit, which was £350 at the time when it wasn't in a bundle. So I don't have the full kit currently at the minute, but it was on there, and we still currently have the front splitter and side skirts because we've moved to the custom forged elements. But as said, that will also be changing. So the side skirts and front splitter will be changing to the forged carbon, as said. So the forged carbon diffuser so far, retail price, you're probably looking around £2,000. I didn't pay that, I got it at trade price. So we're gonna add £2,000 to the total value because that is what it's selling for in the UK. And then if we're looking for carbon skirts, that's around £1,000, and the front splitter is also around £1,000. But these are on their way, so they're not added to the car yet. Moving around to the front, we then have the forged carbon fog light surrounds and number plate panel. These are probably a combined £1,500 as well, and we'll just throw the forged carbon headlight washers in there too. Now, I didn't spend too much time documenting them parts because realistically trade price and regular retail price is going to be a big jump. So I've put the average prices, and I'll put some screenshots up on the screen of what they're roughly selling for. So even though in the video I might have stated £2,000, the actual correct figure of what they're selling for in the UK will go up on the screen with the total value, so it stays about right. We then also have the rear sequential lights. So if we turn on the hazards, you'll see that these work a bit nicer than the originals, and they're the swooping effect just like an Audi or German car. So them lights, I believe, are around £280 from Ultimate Styling. And then the next addition on the rear is Flow Design's rear spoiler extension. Now this is an import from Australia. I believe, can't remember how much I paid for this, but it is probably the most aggressive. As you can see, it really does have the presence on the road, and it makes your RS look even better. You can compare this to the TRC, or you can compare it to your Maxton, and I think this is head and shoulders clear because I did have the Maxton and changed this in the end. I'm gonna throw roughly £200 onto the value here because badges, decals, and all that rubbish that no one really cares about is on the car as well. You can see we have badges here, we have some around the back, some stickers here, and a roof wrap. So just add in a little bit of a bucket value there, just as a generic addition. Back round to the front of the car, we have the bonnet vents. So these were done by Nick Wiley around basically near enough when I bought the car, and they're holding up very well. So these were around £150 fitted and installed, supplied and fitted. So to me, that's a pretty good bargain, but I don't know what other people are charging. So once again, that's the value I'm adding to the pot. We then also have aero cannons, which were about £100. I supply these, so retail price is about 100, I say. And then probably the most notable is our Hyper Silver Revo RFO 19s. These wheels retail for about £1,200. I picked them up at trade price, well, just above about £900 I paid. So these wheels are a great upgrade for the car. They fix the poor fitment. You don't need to run spacers with these, and therefore a recommended upgrade for anyone out there with their RS. They're also lighter per corner. We then also have lowering springs. So Whiteline were kind enough to send me these out quite a while ago. Just here you can see fitment is miles better. I didn't pay for these. Whiteline were kind enough to send these out. You can see the fitment here is clear of the standard RS, and these sit around the 300 to 350 mark, depending where you get them from. And if you do want a set, make sure you go directly to Whiteline and get yourself the best deal because they're always first on price. So these springs lower the front 15 mil and the rear 30 mil. They make the ride softer, smoother, and they make the car look great. I'm not gonna go too in depth on these springs because I've made plenty of videos. Even 2-3 weeks ago, I made an installation video and a checkup video last week, which showed how much better these springs are over standard. And now we've got to a point where I'm basically finished telling you all the mods that are on my Focus RS. And we're at the point where you guys probably wanna know how much I paid for it. So drum roll please, and the total figure I paid for my Mark III Focus RS was £32,000. This car set me back a lot of money because I suppose it was a collector's car at the time. It was standard, one previous owner, garaged, and now it's a highly modified car that probably any boy racer would like to have. It's gone from standard to how it is today in just over a year and a half, and there's plenty more coming. And the main thing that I bang on about every week is the Fulgen Big Turbo. So the total value of my car, well, not the value because mods don't value or devalue the car. Well, could more so devalue, but it's very subjective. It's worth what someone's prepared to pay. So the value of my RS is here on the screen. This is what it costs to get it where it is at the minute. And all I can say is this is going to keep going higher and higher because we're about to spend north of £10,000 on the Forge and Big Turbo build. Once that's done, I'll go through all the costs, maybe, of what that has cost me if you guys want to see that as well. So drop me a comment down below if that's what you want to see. But also, let me know, do you think it's worth it? I know there's plenty of other cars around that price range that I could have bought maybe an RS3, I could have bought a C63, I could have bought anything for this price, but would they have the wow factor that my RS has? I love this car to bits and I can't see it going anywhere anytime soon. So let me know down below, do you agree with me? Probably not, but I'm interested to know your guys' thoughts as well. But that does actually wrap up today's video. That is the final price for my RS and how much it costs to own one. We haven't gone into servicing. We can do that in another video if you're interested, along with insurance, because insurance is a sticky one, being 21 and highly modified. But if you guys want to see them, hit the thumbs up on today's video, show me some love in the comments, let me know, give me some feedback. Is it worth going through the running costs? Because I suppose that you do have to factor that in when owning one. A modified RS isn't cheap other than petrol. Compared to other cars, it's really good on that aspect. But overall, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys want to see in the next one. Is it worth having an RS? Like I said multiple times, I'm interested, I want to engage with you guys. But most importantly, show me some love, hit the subscribe button because the channel isn't going to grow without your guys' help. Share it with your friends, let them know what you guys thought of my RS as well. Let's get it one of the most well-known in the country perhaps, maybe we could do that. But until the next video, hit the like button, subscribe, all of that jazz, share it with your friends, and most importantly, drive safe. Go on, Charlotte's second time driving the RS, I believe. Woo, she said she was gonna stall it. Look at that, nice and easy. Car. Does feel very weird seeing someone else drive your car, but it does look very nice.